What's going on? Oh, shit.
OneRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app.
What's going on out there, basketball heads, and welcome to another edition of Court Vision, brought to you as usual by War Room Sports, in conjunction with the homies from Sports Kings. I'm going to be your host at the round table this evening. I'm Devin. We got the dude B. Austin from War Room Sports. What up, B?
Hey, sports fans. How are you?
We got Frank from Sports Kings. What up, Frank?
Just want to give a well-deserved shout-out to the internet, specifically at JW The Blueprint, for leading the crusade against Donald Sterling. I have no doubt that it factored into Adam Silver's decision.
You saw all the Blueprints memes.
We memed them to death, yo.
Yo, I went to his page at one point, and he had like 2 per hour. Like, it's crazy.
Third round knockout via meme.
And every piece of content that we did about that situation, I just went to each of Jimmy's posts and just put it on. I was spamming his post, but we got the Blueprint himself. What up?
Absolutely, yo. I just want to say, free Jameis Winston. Stop being crabs in the barrel. See what I did there?
Zing. All right.
Zing. The big
Last time you guys saw us, we were giving you guys our first round NBA playoff preview. So we're just checking in to see where the series are at this particular point in time. I know you guys expecting us to talk a little bit more about the whole Donald Sterling and the Clippers thing.
Who's that?
I'll do that. All right, so look, let's jump right into these series. First of all, shout out to the defending champion Miami Heat for handling the Bobcats in 4. I had them handling it in 5. Might have gone 5 if Al Jefferson was healthy, but probably not. So shout out to the Heat for doing what they do. Now Dwayne Wade.
Shout out to LeBron James for breaking your leg and not missing one play, because he's not human, yo.
It's like, no human being can do that.
Not at all. Shout out to Sonny Hill, yo. You can't, yo.
Shout out
LeBron broke his leg and kept playing. So
shout out to Chris Douglas Roberts. I don't know why.
No, but LeBron, he limped like really badly until he got the ball in that breakaway, and then there was no limp anymore.
Yo, what is that? And Chris Douglas Roberts out there looking like a Morris Blackman and whatnot.
Yeah, he looked like Sid the Science Kid. And if y'all got kids, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yo, he looked like the dude that murdered people in The Simpsons.
Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob.
All right, so a series that may have surprised us, not exactly by the outcome, but the fact that they did it in such an easy manner. The Wizards defeat the Bulls in 5. Like, what do you guys think about? Let me ask you this first before we even talk about the series. I heard this question being posed, and I know what I think, but I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Is John Wall and Bradley Beal, can they already be considered the best backcourt in the NBA?
Absolutely, positively not. No.
Who you going with? The DeBarge family?
And I'm a fan. Yeah, well, I'm not going with the DeBarges, but they're higher on the list.
But they're higher. I don't think they're better.
I'm not a prisoner of the moment yet. Yo, I love the Wizards backcourt. Pause. I love them, but they're not yet. Not yet. They're headed. Bradley Beal can't even dribble yet.
Who is it? Who's the top combo?
Who is it? I guess that's the problem. Who's he going to give it to?
No, but I see what he's saying. I can't, I don't know why, because I've had that question in my head for like 4 days, but I don't know who the best is right now, but he just named one that I think is higher on the list.
Throw some names out there, because I'm thinking, and I can't really think of.
I mean, I would go Curry and
who
Thompson over them, but I'm not sure if they're the best, but they might be.
See, my problem is I don't rock with Klay Thompson like most people do. There's something about his game I don't like.
Yeah. Put it like this: I don't know if they're
that far off from.
I don't know if they're better than them, but I would put them right there. I would say at least a tie. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, man.
About Rio and Dwayne. Psych.
Yo, like B. Austin. Let's keep it a bean though. Like I understand the hype behind Klay and them, but what have they really done? Like, not saying Bill and Wall done anything, but what have Klay and them really done? I mean,
you don't want to go there in terms of.
No, I mean,
Bill and Wall has only played together for a season.
I know that. I know that. But if you look at the amount of games that Curry and them played with all them injuries, they probably played the season too.
I respect them, but the reason that Washington even won that wasn't their backcourt. Like the Dubs, the Warriors, like any wins that they get, the reason is usually because of their backcourt.
I respect what you're saying, and I understand you need to help race relations and pick the light-skinned brothers. But
absolutely.
What I'm saying is this, though. Like, outside of those two duos, like, throw some more because I don't know.
There's really not a lot. There's not a lot that have either they have a good point guard or they have a good shooting guard. There's not a lot that have both guys.
I think that's why. I think that's. Yeah,
what about Beverly and Harden?
I think that's why the question can even be posed without somebody saying, "Is this a real question?"
Right. I mean, you got Lowry and DeRozan.
Yeah, that's tough too. That's tough too.
Toronto's backcourt is tough.
The Phoenix backcourt when healthy.
Dragic and Bledsoe. I mean, that's a good one.
Phoenix backcourt when healthy.
No love for Rio and D-Wade?
No, I'm better than Rio, so no.
Rio if you want.
And I play more games in the NBA than D-Wade does. So.
He does.
Rio got Hort.
He does, and he be punking Jeremy Lin every time you see him. But
what about the Spurs backcourt? And when people say that, they don't even count the starter. They be talking about Parker and Manu.
Yeah.
The thing is that we haven't named the backcourt that I'm like, oh, they're definitely better than.
And that's my point, Frank. I don't know who the top backcourt is, but I don't think they're that far off. And I mean, I'm not trying to be a prisoner of the moment and basing on just now, but
yes, you are.
I'm really not though. I'm really not. I mean, I guess.
I think it's about the general weakness. It's about the general weakness of backcourt.
It's not like Curry and him have been together 10 years. I mean,
I think backcourts are fairly weak in the NBA.
Backcourt's corny.
Like I said, that's the reason why I'm not like saying, "Oh man, you crazy for asking that question."
And I guess also, Frank, I'm kind of agreeing with you in terms of Klay Thompson. I'm not really that like a huge take. I mean, Curry is that dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but Klay Thompson is,
Klay Thompson is underrated, man. Y'all be.
At this point, though, I think Klay Thompson might be a hair better than Bradley Beal. Just at this point, I think Bradley Beal has more potential and will eventually be better, but he has some work to do, in my opinion.
Bradley Beal can't create for himself yet, and he doesn't play D the way that Klay Thompson plays D. Thompson D up, especially for DeBarge.
Got that boy DeBarge.
Who's Johnny? She said. Anyway, man, answer your question, Dave. It's debatable. It's debatable. You know what I mean? Like.
Nobody.
I wouldn't call nobody crazy if they said that.
I don't think Jimmy watch enough Wizards ball. I mean, they're good too. I really know. I think they're.
And I also understand. I also understand you need to hate the Washington teams. I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I have watched a lot of Wizards. And the thing about it is,
I'm objective. I'm surprised.
What about Michael Carter Williams and Casper Ware? They don't get a vote.
They get in a class by themselves. Eh?
All right, now, B. Let me ask you this. Let's take the top players in both of those duos. Would you take Wall or Curry?
I think I'd take Curry.
Yeah,
I would.
And I take Clay right now.
Well, here's what I'll say. B. Austin, if you're gonna even debate Wall, then I think absolutely you have to debate whether Wall and Beal are better than Curry and Thompson.
I'm a John Wall supporter, and here's the thing, right? Whenever we talk basketball, not us per se, but just in general, people just look all the way past defense. Like they don't even consider that. Wall plays.
According to my brother B. Austin, they don't keep defense. Who cares about defensive stats? All they count is points.
Is that hustle or athleticism?
That's my homie B. Austin, man.
I mean, you stop someone from scoring points, and you.
B. Austin told me. Told me no other stat matters but points. That's all.
Man, listen, you're a Magic fan, and Magic never played defense.
That's all that matters. Who wins?
I think Wall has more upside than Curry. I think where he could go, but right now I'm going with Curry. Curry has the more polished.
I respect that.
Curry jump shot way too deadly for you to say somebody got more upside than him at this point.
Yeah.
When all else fails, step back to 30 feet and just pull.
Oh, Devin said,
what about Chris Paul and his two guards?
Who
that?
I mean, you want to say Chris Paul and Jamal Crawford?
JJ.
Chris Paul and his two guards.
JJ Redneck. Yo,
you know who could be up there if they were ever healthy? The Pelicans backcourt.
What about
Gordon.
Ron Williams and Joe
Drew
Johnson?
and Gordon.
What about the
We ain't
Ryan?
talking about Darren Williams, right? Yo, Darren Williams is stealing money right now. I don't want to talk about
No,
that.
we ain't
seriously.
calling
People
Darren
dismiss
till he
that.
get a game
People
right.
might dismiss that, but they're not better than Darren and Joe.
Yeah, they're not.
That might be the best backcourt in the league. Frank might disagree because that's his team and he don't want to.
Frank, your man is not back to where he should be, but he's not slumming it up like he was early in the season.
He is tonight.
Yo, he is in this playoff. Yo,
He is right now. As we speak, he is.
he has night. I think he's having nightmares about Kyle Lowry.
Y'all notice that Jimmy be fostering this prisoner of the moment ish, man.
What do you mean?
The name. He's
I'm just telling you the truth.
perpetuator of prison.
Listen, man, I'm speaking the truth to the young black youth, man.
Frank,
Anyway, Dev, your question was
from Philly. We from Philly, so we know about Kyle Lowry. This kind of his coming out party. Kyle Lowry gets under a lot of people's skin. So you can't go nowhere without my man D'ing up, and he will hit a nice shot every now and again. So he hits a
lot of bad shots.
But getting back on track, Dev, I think it's a great question. I think we can get a versus out of this.
All right,
I think it's debatable. I don't think there's no clear cut. That's my answer.
All right, let's go to the series real quick then, since we spent all that time on the backcourts. Why was it so easy for the Wizards to dispatch of the Chicago Bulls?
I mean, when you got the best backcourt in the league, right? And you go with a team that has trouble scoring.
Do you just skim through it? Yo, Nene and my man Gortat were way too much for the defensive player of the universe. Like, Nene was busting their lamb chops.
That was the main reason.
But they also won a game when Nene didn't play, though.
I think Nene and Gortat were the main reason, but another key reason was it's just like really sad to watch the Bulls play offense. Like it was like,
but they got DJ Augustine.
Yo, that's the reason right there, Frank. Yo, forget they didn't even need Nene to win that game. Yo, the Bulls can't score. Watching them play on offense is equivalent to watching a snuff film. It's terrible. I know their coach has to be upset because I mean the Bulls can't get buckets. It's just that simple.
Yo, they're cool. They are actually cool with keeping games in the 50s and 60s.
But the whole series, I was thinking like how great Carmelo Anthony would be for this Bulls team because that's exactly they just need that guy that can just listen, we can't score right now. Here's the ball, get us a bucket, and like Melo's that dude when it comes to that. So I mean, you get him on that team, and I think they'd be dangerous.
Because you would have time periods in this series towards the end of games where the Wizards would struggle to score as well, but the Bulls could never really capitalize.
Absolutely.
So they'd make a little run, maybe tie it up, or have like a 2-point deficit, and then they just go cold for the rest of the game. And I'm not just talking about from the field. I'm talking about from the foul line. I mean, they start doing stupid stuff defensively, and that's just not their MO. It is sad. Like, they really need some offensive help if they're really going to make noise, because we keep the Bulls relevant because they scrap for every single point and every single win during the regular season. But that formula, if that's a formula, it might just be with the hand that they're dealt. It just hasn't worked for them in the playoffs. You saw them a couple seasons ago. They lost to the 76ers. They lost to the Wizards. The Wizards have won 3 playoff series in the last 35 years.
Yo, and you know what? That's a great point. I'm glad that you brought up the Derrick Rose iteration of the Bulls, because even with him, they have problems creating offense. So it's not just
because they're all watching him.
It's better with him, but he's still on his own, and they still have a problem churning out points with just him. Like their offense is rough. Like, it's tough.
It's terrible, man. Like watching that is very sad. They remind me of like the Baltimore Ravens, right, where they play this great defense. They get to the playoffs and they can't get anything done. You see when the Ravens get a little bit of offense, they win the chip.
Yeah. Shout out to Trent Dilfer. You had a great Super Bowl.
There's a thing like in this series, like I picked the Bulls to win in 6. I definitely threw out the caveat that I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. But I think it was clear, like pretty early in the series, that the Wizards were just a better team.
It really was.
I picked the Bulls too, based on hype, because watching them play at the end of the season, seeing the defensive player of the year,
inspirational, man.
And he got shown up too, though. Let's keep it a bean. Like, he's the defensive player of the year, but he got shown up.
Defensive player of the year.
We all know, Joe Kim's my dude, but he got that work.
Then my man Jimmy Butler out there. Jimmy Butler looks like a gang member from the 70s that wears satin jackets.
Wormhead.
They relying on him to get shots. Like, come on, man.
The other dark skin boy with the cornrows, he was out there.
Tony Snell.
He
looked like Kawhi. He looked like Kawhi Leonard's young buck.
Yeah.
But shout out to the Washington Wizards for getting it done.
I apologize to you, Washington. I underestimated you.
And getting it done in a fairly easy fashion.
Is Joakim overrated defensively?
Come on, man. Let's move on, man. We ain't going there yet. We're not going there yet.
Stop being a prisoner.
Stop being a prisoner of the moment, B. Austin. Stop being a prisoner of the moment.
The backup was getting off. Gortat was getting off.
Gortat could start for a lot of teams in the NBA.
Yeah, he definitely can. Stop being a prisoner in the moment, man. Let's move on.
But
bite.
How I'm thinking that it's really shaping up well for the Wizards after winning this series, because the Hawks are leading the Pacers 3-2. When we first, when we did our previews, even though the Pacers were in a tailspin, I saw no way possible that the Hawks could beat them. And even up 3-2 right now, I'm just going to be stubborn and just say, even though I have no reason to believe this to be true, there is no way the Pacers are going to lose this series to the Hawks. They are going to win the next 2 games. Come see me next week when I'm wrong, and the Wizards are stomping the Hawks on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals. What's up with the Pacers? Why are they down 3-2 to the Hawks?
The Atlanta Hawks have guys that don't even I don't know who Scott is, and he's dropping 17 points in a half. Like, who's even on their roster?
Well, they're having tons of problems with Jeff Teague right now.
Jeff Teague does what he wants.
First of all, I like to shout out myself, because when y'all were like, don't worry about the Pacers, they're going to be fine, like, Eastern Conference Finals, I was like, no, really, guys, like, you really need to worry about these Pacers. It's going wrong.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Scott, the emoji god. He got emoji tattoos on his arm, like, for real. And, I mean, I'm not even being dramatic here. Like, this is the end of the Indiana Pacers. Like, I think not only are they going to lose this series, like, they're going to blow this thing up. I think Frank Vogel's gone, first of all. Like, he's the first guy out the door. And then, I think
Lance?
Lance Stevenson's, he's going, because somebody's going to try and pay him, like, the max for some reason, because people think they can turn him into a superstar. And then I think Roy Hibbert's possibly traded, and I think it's just going to be the end of this team that we thought was going to challenge the Heat.
Listen to this, though. I think this is like a meltdown of epic proportions. This is like historic. They're the number 1 seed. The way they started this season and the way they finish are like, it's unbelievable. This is a historic collapse, yo. It's ridiculous, and that's the only thing I have to say about this series. Even if they win, they stink anyway.
For allowing Atlanta to take them to 7.
I understand we act like Atlanta ain't in America.
Atlanta might not even be good.
You know what Atlanta does is they just go out every game against the Pacers and they just bomb threes because they know they got nothing to lose. So like they're just bombing it. Like they went like 8 for 10 from the 3-point line in the second quarter.
Like they're doing this without their best player.
Yeah, they really don't care.
And by the way, real quick, I just gotta tell you guys, I got breaking news. Mike D'Antoni stepped down, so this is court vision, So Mike D'Antoni stepped down, so FOH, good written.
So they wanted him back. They probably threatened him, like, yo, we ain't gonna embarrass you.
They probably put him up against the locker. Yo, I just
want to say, record phone calls or something.
With regards.
Yeah, some tapes about to leak on Mike D'Antoni. I'll tell you, it's the end of sports now, baby.
Yeah. With regards to Roy Hibbert, are you guys familiar with the story of Cinderella?
Yeah.
If you are, like, the pumpkin is here, the slipper is gone. Like, yo, homie came back down to earth. I don't know what's.
How do you go through so much time in a game as a 7'2" dude and not register a stat? That's you laughing, but that's sad.
He didn't say a point. He said a statistic.
His mind is somewhere else. Like, his mind is definitely somewhere else. He's thinking about maybe that chick they had a beef with or whatever.
I
Like,
don't think he has
his mind is
any friends
definitely
left
not
on
in the
the
game.
team.
Yo, somebody said to me the other day, they said, yo, Roy Hibbert's putting up minimal numbers. I said, minimal? Like, he's not putting up any. Like, they don't exist.
Is my man that messed up over Yams?
I think he is. Somebody told me he was boycotting because of Sterling, and he just said he ain't playing either. So, I don't know what's going on with him, but it's definitely an issue. And I agree with Frank. That whole thing is going to be blown up. And they may have to at this point. It's really sad because me and Dev always talk about how everything seems to go right for the Heat. And, anytime a team has
on both sides of the...
Anytime that a team has a run where they win multiple championships, when you look back historically, there's always a little bit of luck involved. But, this is crazy on both sides. Whether you're talking about OKC or the Spurs struggling in the first round. Now, everybody who we thought could give them an issue. The only team I see, that's if OKC loses, is because of the way Memphis is constructed, could possibly give them an issue. But, Indiana was supposed to be that team. And, FOH to the end.
Yeah, it's sad. Because at this point, I think even if Indiana, wakes up a little bit and gets their act together against these bad teams that they're playing, they're still going to go up against the Heat and get cleaned out. So
yeah, they need more people, yo.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's crazy. So the Raptors and the Nets are tied at 2, but they are late in their game as we speak. The last time we checked, the Nets were getting their clocks clean, but we're not even going to check up on the score right now because Frank's a Brooklyn fan, so we don't want to ruin it for him.
You don't want me to cry on live television right now.
We don't want him. He's DVRing the game, and like he said, we don't want him crying on video. So
Yeah.
We're not going to look into that one. So by the time you guys see this, that series won't be tied anymore. But before it happens,
I think it's going 7. Though.
why
I
is
think
it
it's
tied?
going
You
7.
think it's going 7.
I think it's going 7.
What are?
Yeah.
Why is
just
it going
to
the way
start,
it's going?
aside from this game, which seems to be a blowout, every game's been as we anticipated it, down to the last possession. And, the surprising part was in Game 4 where you thought, like, the veteran leadership was going to take over late in the game in a close game at home. All of a sudden, these young Raptors seemed like they were the more experienced team. So, those are the kind of things I didn't foresee personally. I thought that veteran leadership was going to pay off. I agree with Jimmy. I think it's going 7. I think the Raptors win in 7. I said that before the series. If it went 7, then I thought the Raptors would win.
Wow.
I thought the Nets had to win in 6, and if they can't, then they're going to lose in 7.
I'm still gonna go with Brooklyn because I think that there's enough residual fumes in the tank of the superstars or ex-superstars that you guys have. Because once you look at Kyle Lowry, cool, DeMar DeRozan, cool, Terrence Ross. He's not real. That 51 points isn't real. He doesn't know. He can't get 8. So you've got him. Where does the scoring and production come?
Brother Amir.
Brother Amir. Yo.
It's really been from the big guys. Jonas has played well.
Jonas is balling.
Patrick Patterson has been the difference maker for the Raptors stretching the floor. It's really been
shooting non-powerful forward.
Non-powerful forward.
Yo, welcome to the 2014
Frank,
NBA.
I have a question for you, Frank. Yo, is KG stealing money or no?
No, I'm telling you, KG's not the one stealing money. Yo, Darren Williams, give your check back.
Yo, I get that, but at times watching them play, I feel like KG is one step above.
For some reason, Jason Kidd is being extremely stubborn, and he will not change the rotation at all. Like, they've been playing the same exact rotation because he feels like the depth that the Nets have is going to win out. Like, that's what he thinks the difference maker is. So he will not play KG more than 20 minutes. And in those 20 minutes, the Nets are defensively, so much better of a team than when KG goes out because Andre Blatch doesn't know defense if it hit him in the back of the head.
Yo,
Andrew Blatch is a retard.
Livingston is your best player though.
No, he might be.
No, honestly, the best player right now on the team is Paul Pierce, but it wasn't designed that way. Like, Paul Pierce was supposed to come and give the aid to Joe Johnson and Darren Williams so they could be the stars, and he kind of fall back a little bit. But
anytime Livingston falls or gets bumped, I
cringe.
I do too. I'm waiting for that leg just to fly off the screen or something like.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yo, it goes Sean Livingston, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson. That's your top 3.
Right.
And then Durant.
Bottom line is, I think that's going 7. It's a fairly even match series.
What's wrong with Marcus Thornton's hair?
Yeah,
I can't answer that one.
It's the 2014 NBA. He used to be in Sacramento. That's close to Chris Paul. He's probably got the Chris Paul.
Yo, he looks like a third-degree burn victim on his head.
No comment, yo.
Anyway, DeMar DeRozan, he's been impressive to me. I mean,
not his haircut.
He last game he may have faded out a little bit towards the end of the game, but he started off, on fire. Like, and a lot of people don't get to see him play because they play in Toronto, but.
Yeah.
I thought the Bull was going to be an athletic all-star. I was wrong.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe from him as well when he came into the league.
Yeah, that's
really athletic, the type that could shoot, but he has a pretty nice jump shot.
I mean, Bull running up and down the court looking like Grimlock, but other than that, I mean, his game is a lot better.
To that DeMar DeRozan point, obviously I'm not making excuses for the Nets considering I just bashed them, but like the Raptors make a lot of bad shots. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, like they take like terrible. You're like, wait, that's not go, and all of a sudden they just drain it.
Right, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go over to the Western Conference. The Blazers are leading the Rockets 3-1. Shout out to Jimmy. He picked Portland. Frank, I think you picked Portland as well.
Yeah,
right?
I flip-flopped right at the end.
Yeah. He was like a
Jimmy Sweet.
He's like a
fish
dying on the deck.
I told you it's all about Aldridge right now, baby. Yeah. Like I said, Aldridge coming out party. Him and Lillard.
I originally had the Rockets in 7, but
I had the Rockets in 6.
I didn't take into account as much as I should have. James Harden's in his prom night deficiency.
LaMarcus Aldridge approaches every game like I am your dad. I'm your dad, so y'all can't really do anything. I'm your pop. What are you gonna do with your dad? And that's how he is.
He's another one that the whole country doesn't get to see on a regular basis.
Sheesh.
Now, being a League Pass subscriber, that's a waste of money. I've seen a lot of LaMarcus Aldridge, but I'm not even going to fake and say that I knew he was this good. Like, I knew he was good, and I knew he was like one of the best kept secrets in the league.
Sheesh.
But to come out in a playoff scenario against a team that's supposed to beat you and just calmly put up 2 40-point games in a row to set the series off, that's impressive to me.
He's going at them like he has a personal problem with them. I got a personal problem with
That's
y'all.
How you're supposed to play ball.
So I'm gonna put up 40 on y'all every time I see you.
Hey,
and
remember we saw him play live. Was it last year, the year before? We saw him play live, and he just cooked the Sixers. It was crazy. Like everybody cooks him, but still, he had like 20 in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were like quiet cooking though. Like. We looked up and he was like, "Yo, how did Lillard and Aldridge?"
Yeah, he had him on the crock. He had him on the crock pot. He was slow. But
he has a lot in his arsenal because he can go back to the basket.
That's his new name, Frank.
He could put the ball on the floor a little bit, and
Marcus
definitely can step out. He can step out, mid-range.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what I like about this Trailblazers team is they're very old. They seem like a very old school team. Like they're just rugged. They're tough. You know what I mean? Like Aldridge has a very old school game, and I think it's great that LaMarcus Aldridge is beating the Houston Rockets, who are like the most analytic team in the league, and like he's like, yo, analytics, FOH, long range twos all day. I don't even care what you think.
We knew what Dwight Howard was, and we expected for his masculinity to eventually play a part or lack thereof in this series.
I'm not mad at Dwight though.
When he's all right.
Dwight he's been giving Lopez the blues.
He's been given a lot of effort. But what's wrong with the guy that I support and claim is the second best 2-guard in the league? Like, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with him? On the spot dice spin.
On the spot dice spin. It's the playoffs. That's what's wrong.
By the way, Game 5 just started, so Portland can close out the night, and they're down 2-0. Game just started. 2-2. Just tied it.
I just want to say, listen, man, great series so far, man. Shout out to my man Crockpot. I'm looking forward to seeing him play the next round because we just gave you a new nickname, LaMarcus Aldridge, a.k.a. Crockpot, because he be slow cooking these jokers, man. So, and the funny thing is, I think it's kind of an evenly matched series when you look at the teams, but
Hey.
I was just going to say that.
Chandler Parsons is balling.
No, I don't know if you guys remember. I was saying when we first did the preview, I'm like, this is the series that I'm most looking forward to. I thought it was the most evenly matched series in the playoffs, but the Blazers just decided they wanted to kick the Rockets' ass.
Well, I mean, even though they do have a 3-1 lead, it has been competitive.
Lillard has no problems with Beverly. He's like, little dude, get out of here.
I think this is the difference between this year's playoffs and last year's playoffs. Last year, even when a lot of series went 6 and 7 games, it was blowouts. Even the finals. The finals started with like 4 straight blowouts and then started to get a little tighter as the series
definitely was.
And it was like that, in my opinion, throughout the whole playoffs. This year, even like Frank just said, a team that's down 3-1, it's been 4 pretty good games.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't just blown them out of the building.
OKC series.
The Clippers and Warriors, they took turns, you know.
There's a crazy statistic going around about this year's playoffs, how many games have been 5 points or less. I don't know it offhand, but it's something like 25 of the 36 games have been within 5 points.
Right.
You know, in the fourth quarter.
And as of yesterday, the road teams were 19 and 14. So
yeah, they were 21 and 15 going into today.
This has been a great playoffs. I mean, of course, it's being overshadowed by some other BS, but from a basketball standpoint, it's one of the best playoffs I remember.
And specifically this Portland series, I think it's playing out just as Jimmy and I said it might. You know, in the close games, I think you just see Lillard and Aldridge taking over, and then Harden just doesn't have it late. It's just on the spot
on the spot dice spin.
Just prom night.
They want no problems on
premature prom night. He's going home at 10 p.m. He's not scoring.
No, and he's actually trying to play D.
No, he's not.
But he doesn't know how. No, he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how. Like he doesn't know how.
He come fast like FedEx and bust too quick. But Grizzlies are leading the Thunder 3-2. Now Frank was the only person in the round table brave enough to actually pick the Grizzlies. You know, I just expressed my thoughts of this being a really bad matchup and a tough series for the Thunder. But Frank, if the Grizzlies hold on and pull this out, you know, you're gonna look like a genius, man.
Unadulterated mother.
And you know what terrible, Dev, is like people are still hating on me. Yo, shout out to Andy Flynn who ducked us tonight because he did not want to apologize to Tony Allen, even though he owes the Grindfather an apology, a written note to his house.
The Grindfather.
Dark skinned Jermaine.
Yeah.
Tony Allen, a.k.a. hashtag the Durant stopper. That's all I got. That's all
I just want to apologize. I want to apologize to Memphis because I did laugh at this. In the words of Axel Foley, pause, but I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. KD was going bananas all season. I bought into the hype, and he can't score on a 6'4" guy in his face all game.
I saw somewhere KD came out and said that Tony Allen is in my head.
Yeah, but what I was saying is this though. I saw a crazy statistic. Now, you know, I don't want to get too analytical, Frank. I know how you feel about that. But they say only 37. They said only 37% of shots are like, you know, contested in the NBA. But Tony Allen is up like 90% of KD shots. So on average, in the course of the season, he only had about 37% of his shots, you know, contested. And Tony Allen has took it to a whole different level. Like he's in his.
Not used to that.
He's not even
playing defense. What you doing?
He's not used to it.
The thing I love about Tony Allen is he just refuses to be screened. Like, you cannot screen this dude. Like, he's got, like, such a low center of gravity. I don't even know how the hell he stands. He like, keeps his balance.
He plays basketball like his ribs is touching. He's behind on his rent, and he has to put food on his family. But the thing about it is, even outside, it is not just him. That team is very, very strong from a mental standpoint. They're very resilient. When OKC tries to make a run, it's like, they just don't. They don't bow down. They're not afraid of anybody. And I think that team is going to give anybody fits after watching this series because
now we're talking like we're just scooping the extra dirt onto.
Oh yeah, but OKC still could win this. OKC still could win this.
Durant could come out and average 60 for the next 2 games and
everybody will forget about the ground.
But the word I used last week, even though I picked them, I was just thinking, in comparison to the Grizzlies. The Thunder is a little bit of a soft team. But I want to ask you guys, with Kevin Durant having the season that he's had, getting the recognition that he's gotten, do you guys think he gets a pass for the way the Thunder are playing?
I don't think he should. I think he will, but I don't think he should. Somebody made a great point on Twitter the other day. They said, imagine if LeBron was having the series that KD was having right now.
Oh God!
Like,
He would get.
You would not be able to walk down the street without a LeBron troll stopping you. Did you see what LeBron did last night?
But this also goes to that whole personal brand thing. KD is built up this thing where he's considered a nice guy. He gets away with murder. I mean, missed foul shots. And he takes a lot of awful shots. Let's keep it real. He makes a lot of them, but the thing about it is he gets away with a lot because he's KD. It's just that simple. It's just that
Jimmy,
simple.
When Russell Westbrook takes a few awful shots, you're hearing about it for a week. I'm talking about people are talking about it during other games when the Thunder aren't even playing. They're talking about Russell Westbrook.
And the funny thing is,
I watched them closely. Kevin Durant takes just as bad a shot. His shot selection is just as bad as Russell Westbrook's, and nobody seems to ever say anything about that. I mean, I'm not going to bash him too much because, in my experience watching basketball, all scorers take bad shots. That's right.
Absolutely.
But some of them you can't absolve them of, blame when they do it, and make sure you pile on the other guy.
Because Russell Westbrook is a scorer, so he's a scorer as well.
And it's crazy because watching the game, right? It's I find myself defending Westbrook because he's easy to pile on at this point. People are going crazy at him. But let's keep it real. I was talking to B. Austin the other day during the game. I'm like, this dude is pressing. There comes a lot of times in a game where he's just pressing, where I guess he feels the pressure of the series and he starts drawing.
My problem with that is, as valuable as KD is, and he is the better player, that team cannot win without Russell Westbrook.
Completely agree.
So I get tired of people.
People keep saying they won't win until he's gone.
Oh, they should get Rajon Rondo. FOA.
Roster's already terrible. Go ahead and let him go if you want.
He's not better. They can't win consistently in the playoffs without Russell Westbrook.
Why is Perkins on the team? What does he do other than run up and down the court?
I already told you. He's got the drop on somebody in the front office. He's about to leave.
Tapes.
He's got some tapes. He's about to leave.
It's crazy because as bad as he's always been,
I'll still take Hibbert over him.
As bad as he's always been, he somehow got worse.
How could he get worse?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Always a piece of shit.
It's always that, but he got worse. Now he's a smaller piece of shit.
I want to bounce off Dev's point a little bit when he says that nobody checks.
He went from Dookie to shit.
When he says that nobody says anything when Durant and Westbrook take bad shots, I think the person that really doesn't say anybody is Scott Brooks. I think he's the biggest problem on the team is honestly Scott Brooks, because he never pulls these guys aside and says, listen, you can't do this. What are we doing on the court right now? I don't think I've ever seen Scott Brooks yell at somebody on the court.
What do you think about the play you drew up yesterday?
The play that says, Durant, get the ball and shoot as soon as you can.
With the clipboard drawing that up, though.
Shout out to Bill Simmons and Jalen and everybody over there at Grantland. They wrote a real random article. I didn't get to read it, but I did see the headline. They wrote an article today that said why Stan Van Gundy should be coaching the Thunder. I have to read it because why'd they pick Stan? But
that's random as hell, yo.
But a lot of people
that's Ron Jeremy, right?
Russell Westbrook is public enemy number 1, and now Scott Brooks is public enemy number 2. Durant just gets pushed back in line, no matter.
He's not the enemy. He's not the enemy at all. He's not even on the list.
And I'm a Durant fan, but I have to keep it objective. And I think from a lot of fans, a lot of people in the media, I think he gets a little bit of a pass. And
he does. I too am a Durant fan, and I watched him disappear last year when Russell Westbrook showed up and carried that team, and no one said anything.
Huh?
I don't buy into the whole LeBron comparison, though.
Oh no, Westbrook
it's different.
Last year.
He's not LeBron. You're not.
What else you talking about, though?
No, it was the year before. No, it was the year before. Year before.
Oh, all right, my bad.
You're not the greatest player, in the league until you're polarizing. So that's why LeBron gets it the way he does. Kevin Durant just isn't there yet. He has one side on lock, and that's the nice guy side. So he'll never be recognized as the best player in the league as long as he
goes
has one side of the spectrum.
Yo, that goes to show you, man. It pays to be nice to people, yo, because then you get a pass when you do dumb.
Yo, bottom line, I agree with everybody here. I love KD, but bottom line, he wants no part of that Tony Allen work this series. No part of it.
The grindfather.
The grindfather, baby.
The pass isn't always good. You want that hate sometimes because it motivates you.
Yeah, I love the hate. I love the hate. I need
Gatorade commercial.
Need the hate.
Got to check. But all right, so let's go to Spurs and Mavs because that game is over. Who won that game tonight? Because
Spurs just won.
Okay, so the Spurs lead that series 3-2.
3-2.
You know, they had some trouble in the beginning of the series, and people were wondering what was wrong with the Spurs. I actually heard a question about the Spurs in comparison to, I think it was the Pacers. People were saying, well, the Spurs are struggling too. You know, how come they get a pass and not the Pacers? I think the Spurs have built up enough credit for us to know that they can play through adversity. One, I mean, they've lost a few series that they weren't supposed to lose in their time, but I still think their resume is the reason why they get that pass. And plus, Dallas, in my opinion, will wipe the floor with Atlanta any time of the week. So it's not the same struggle. You know, Dallas is a rival, and
in-state rival.
Yeah, and even though the Spurs has basically owned them recently, Dallas still has some respectable veterans, you know, maybe a Hall of Famer or two on that team. Yeah. They have to be respected, no matter, you know, what you think coming into the series. They still got Dirk.
Yo, Dirk, and they got
Monte's still the Call of Duty.
Adding to his Hall of Fame resume.
Monte's still on duty.
Vince who? Hall of where?
Yo, I'm not saying I agree, but Vince Carter added to his Hall of Fame resume with that last second shot.
That's funny because that shot was deja vu because I was sitting in the then first Union Center watching that same shot, Game 7 against the 76ers in 2001.
Changed his
life. Bounce off the rim.
Changed Vince's life.
How many years later? Like 13 years later, he hits the shot.
Love it or not, Vince is going to the Hall of Fame. I have a better question for you, gentlemen. This series is very competitive. Dev gave you all the reasons, so there's no reason for me to get into that. But do you guys think Manu is going to the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
He will.
Yeah. I mean, only because it's basketball.
Basketball Hall of Fame.
So, you know, I think his Argentinian and all that stuff.
Great point. His Argentinian, all that stuff. I got it. I respect that. I respect that.
The Sarunas got in.
Yeah, he'll wipe the floor with Sarunas. Yeah, I agree with that.
Even though Sarunas,
yo, but Sarunas like started basketball in the whole country.
Yo, Sarunas invented basketball in Europe.
Yeah,
man.
He was the inventor of European basketball.
No, I'm only asking.
He actually might have invented it in Lithuania.
Yo, I'm only asking that question because I heard someone say on one of the broadcasts that the Spurs, you know, with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili, the 3 future Hall of Famers.
And I was like, wow. Tony in, huh?
Yo.
Yeah, they already put Tony in. They put Tony in too. Tony not good.
Tony
might.
Kawhi Leonard
the greatest French basketball player. The greatest French basketball player.
So is Boris Diaw going?
He ain't better than Batum.
He ain't better than who?
Batum. Not on the video game, he not.
Boris Diaw.
Batum got to keep going. Okay.
Yo, on the real, if you look at Manu in his prime, James Harden, Dwayne Wade, or Manu Ginobili.
In their prime? D-Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
D-Wade.
Okay. Manu or Harden?
I mean, I don't know if Harden's reached his prime yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right? I don't think Harden's
reached his playoff prime yet.
Dice spin.
My man's trying to
say. I know what you're trying to do, though. I know what you're trying to say, but
he's only been a starter for 2 years. So now
my man James Harden's still watching those sex education videos, trying to learn some moves.
Manu is
tough,
man. Manu is tough, and he gets pushed to the side. And I know that I've been biased because I've seen him get done in by Kobe so much, but that's Kobe Bryant.
He gets pushed to the side by his coach and coming off the
bench. Hey, B. Austin, I got one for you. Manu Ginobili or Joe Dumars?
I'm taking Manu Ginobili all the time. Yo, I'll take 2 people on this panel over Joe.
Yo,
Damn.
I thought Beyonce was gonna say, I thought Beyonce was gonna say Manu because one's a Hall of Famer.
Yo, I'm not, and I ain't being funny. I ain't being ignorant, Jimmy. This is not a shot. But the only time I can remember, didn't Joe Dumars give Magic Johnson that work in the finals?
Yeah. Hey, Joe Dumars won Finals MVP.
Look,
but that's all I remember.
Hey, Jimmy, his disrespect for Joe goes up 5 levels every time we bring his name up. Like, because we don't think he should be a Hall of Famer, Austin then turned him into a piece of trash. Like,
he's not trash. He's not trash. I just respect Manu.
He just said people at this round table could give Joe work. Joe lock all of us up.
Yo, total disrespect. Total disrespect, yo. But I was just asking, do you guys think he's going to Hall of Fame? And I guess everybody's in agreement that he is going. So
give Magic that work.
I think Manu was gone.
Yeah, really quick before we move on, that San Antonio Indiana comparison. I'm not gonna say it's stupid, but yo, it's stupid.
It's stupid.
That's stupid.
Yeah, y'all stupid. Well, shout out to my man Big Thompson, and the mayor. Shout out to the mayor. All right, look, 'cause this video long as hell.
Yep.
Clippers are leading the Warriors in this emotional series, 3-2. What do y'all think? Y'all think the Clippers are going to close them out the next game, or will Steph and Clay, arguably the best backcourt in the league, will they extend this series?
Gotta get girl.
Iggy out there doing work too.
Yo, I think I got the LA Oprah Winfrey's. I think they're gonna lock it up. They're gonna be singing YMCA.
Floyd Mayweather's.
Now that they can sing YMCA again, I think it's gonna be a YMCA parade. But Chris Paul I got the Clippers.
I think the big difference in this is them the Dubs missing their center. I think if they had Andrew Bogut, that would make a difference, but because they don't, and they're dependent upon shooters, I got to get this to the Clippers, man. I think
center a shooter too.
Yeah, but he's tough on D. He's tough on D.
Yo, I think that the Warriors may win the next game, but I got the Clippers overall in the series. I think it all depends upon if Blake can stay out of foul trouble. His plus and minus is crazy in the series. When he's out there, they're a different team. I mean, that one game they won by like a gazillion points is because the way he played. Right. And a lot of the games he's been in foul trouble. So if they can keep getting him in foul trouble, I mean, the Warriors have a shot. And the thing about them is they're such a streaky team that they can win or they can lose by 1,000,000. So I don't know how deep you can go into the playoffs with that style of play because of the way they play the game, those light-skinned brothers.
And the Warriors, DeAndre hasn't been working too well.
Yo, DeAndre Jordan's been playing like a beast.
Yeah,
He's been straight beasting him,
Absolutely.
Jamal Crawford would show up.
Yo, Jamal Crawford, that game they lost, he was the only one that played. Like, when they all looked like they was crying over what was going on, Jamal Crawford looked like he didn't care. He looked like he used to being called a monkey. He just went out there, he was frying, like he was frying, he was like, I don't care what's going on. I'm putting these buckets. I'm getting.
Yo, he's like, they gotta cut the check regardless. I don't care what they call.
I mean, we want to. I'm gonna put food in my family. I'm gonna get these buckets.
Yeah, I like LA ain't in America.
He's like, why y'all
shot? Jamal Crawford's like, boycott what? I got a family to feed. I got shots.
He give me my apartment. He give me my clothes, my car.
He's like, as long as direct deposit goes through, I don't care what y'all mad at. I'm getting these buckets.
I'm supposed to be mad at that.
Yeah, that's right. We can find humor in anything, ladies and gentlemen.
This video probably like 90 minutes.
I know.
We're going to get out of here, man. I know you guys probably wanted to hear more about the whole Donald Sterling situation, but just check our podcast later today, because by the time you see this, later today, check out the War Room at warroomsports.com from 6 to 8. We'll be talking Donald Sterling. Well, I'll say from 6:30 to 8 because we got to get a few things out of the way, but we'll lay that whole thing to rest once and for all. We're going to go like an hour and a half on it. So make sure you guys tune in 6 to 8, warroomsports.com. Click on that Listen Live button. Call in 323-410-0012. so you can have your opinions and your thoughts heard as well. But as far as this video is concerned, this has been another episode of Court Vision. Like we always tell you guys, make sure you like the page, follow the page, subscribe to the page, whatever you call it, so you know when another Court Vision drops and we don't have to tell you. Like the video, leave comments. Let us know what you think about all the first round playoff series that are still going on right now. If you switched your pick, whatever your opinion is, let us know.
Who's the best backcourt?
And definitely let us know who's the best backcourt in the NBA right now. Is it John
MCW
Wall
and
and Bradley
Casper
Beal?
Ware.
Is it John Wall and Bradley Beal? Because the Washingtonians think so right now. So tell us what you think. For B. Austin, Frank, and Jimmy, I'm Dev. Again, this has been another episode of Court Vision. Like we always tell you, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
See you chumps on top. Shout out to all the delicate Latino women.
Grandfather. Locking KD ass.
Wait, it's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.